Priyanka, 28, and Damiano, 30, met in 2014, when he shot a documentary on a homeless library initiative she had started. They currently reside in London and hope to marry next year. Priyanka developed an idea for a new community initiative while in her last year of journalism at Kingston University London. I was interning at the United Nations Association at the time, she explains, and one day I came across a homeless man who was passing the time by reading a book. It triggered a thought. She started Spread the Word, an initiative to build micro-libraries in homeless shelters, not long after. I received press releases about what I was doing published in news channels, she recalls. Damiano came across Priyanka's project while studying for a documentary film at the London College of Communication in May 2014. I'd been invited to do a video on any theme, he explains, and I chose the issue of homelessness. One of the homeless guys he approached at a church offered him his phone number for an interview. He scrawled it on the back of a magazine called the Pavement, which is issued for the homeless population, because he didn't have his phone with him. I continued reading it when I got home, and that's how I learned about the Spread the Word effort. He realized that this would be a more fascinating subject for his documentary, so he contacted Priyanka to arrange an interview. She invited him to accompany her on a photo shoot in London, where she planned to photograph people reading. When he arrived, he was very quiet and shooting in the background, she recalls. About 30 minutes in, he announced he had all he needed for the day, and wanted to reschedule the interview. We only exchanged a few words, but he appeared kind and courteous. Despite the fact that they met 4 more times for filming, Damiano continued to view their relationship as a business. I knew she was incredibly lovely before we met, since I saw her photo when I contacted her, he adds. I was blown away by the fact that she had launched such a fantastic endeavor. But I needed to concentrate on finishing my project. Regardless, Priyanka was eager to learn more about him on a personal level. I started to wonder who he was outside the project, since he was so amusing. I began contacting him in a flirtatious manner, asking how he was, and what he was up to, she explains. Priyanka was scared she wouldn't see him again, after he emailed her a link to the completed documentary, so she invited him out for a drink to celebrate. That became their first date, and they spent hours together at the bar. We chatted about my home country of India and Damiano's home country of Italy, where he migrated when he was 15, Priyanka adds. At the end of the night, he kissed me, and from then on, we were in a relationship. In 2015, Damiano acquired work as a videographer near Oxford, while Priyanka finished her degree and began a career in journalism. On most weekends, he came back to London to visit me. He put forth a lot of work, she adds. Damiano went to London in 2016 and spent time with Priyanka, who was living with her parents at the time. My family adores him, and he immediately became one of us, she adds. The pair married in 2019 and currently reside in Oval, South London, with their 2 cats. Last year, they got engaged, and intend to marry in May 2022. Priyanka changed occupations after being inspired by her work with the homeless population, and now works in communications for non-profit organizations. Damiano continues to be pleased by her efforts and feels that her tenacity motivates him to achieve more. As I got to know her better, I realized she's hilarious, loving, and I can be myself with her. Her enthusiasm is contagious, and I adore it. She encourages me to have greater faith in myself. When it's the 2 of us alone, we have the best time, and we're always laughing. Priyanka admires her partner's laid-back attitude. On the contrary, I'm the polar opposite. Damiano, on the other hand, is the most tranquil guy I've ever met. She says, he always pulls me back down to earth. He is unconcerned about peer pressure, and does what he wants.